Yes, what's happening, people? And welcome back to Gavgoesin. Got man like Jonas back on. Jonas, how you doing, man? You good?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, brother. How are you?
Yeah, bro. All good, man. All good. As I said, man, just got back from holiday, and yeah, as I said, man, just trying to enjoy this weather now, and yeah, back to the grind, man. As I said, I've been slacking a bit over the last couple of weeks or so, but yeah, as I said, man, back to normal now, and just gonna try and get the content out. And yeah, appreciate you coming on, bro. Yet again.
No, definitely. Thanks for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, guys. Big up yourselves as well for coming through. As I said, keep your comments coming through as well. Give us your questions as well. Give both us your questions. And again, if you do enjoy the stream, make sure you smash that like button. And again, make sure you subscribe to my channel at Gavgoesin on YouTube. Guys, I'm also on Twitter as well, and I'm on Instagram. So as I said, if you do enjoy it, smash that like button and subscribe. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into and again, I want to get your views, Jonas, on the transfer windows. I know obviously um your team, doing a madness at the moment.
Yeah,
Uh
doing a lot.
let me know, man. What are you making of this transfer window at the moment?
So I didn't realize. So a fun fact for you. So if you sign any player
Yeah.
for the 30th of Jan, so
Mm,
as long as their deal goes through before the 30th of June, sorry.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
as long as the transfer goes in before that,
Mm,
basically it accounts to the season before. So technically,
yeah.
when Liverpool start spending money in July, they're not spending last year's money; they're spending this year's money. So technically,
Okay.
they've spent no money at the moment. So any team that does any business and gets it
Mm,
done before the 30th of June, they've not spent any money within this window, so to speak. They spent it from last season. So it all accounts to last season's money. So in my head, the way I'm looking
mm,
at it, Liverpool haven't spent any Champions League money yet, haven't
yeah.
spent any money that they won from the Prem. Um, and they'll just be looking at different sorts of money that they haven't really spent at the moment. So when people are going, oh yeah, but you spent 116, it's like, yeah, but we were willing to splash that money on Caicedo.
Mm.
Like we looked at all sorts of different players, and when you look at Liverpool, they don't just go out and go, nah, they're not worth the cap, because everybody laughed when we did the same thing with Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Everybody looked at Van Dijk and went, "You're spending 70 million from a guy that's from bloody Southampton. What are you doing?"
Yeah, I bet you now, man, everyone's thinking like, yo, we must have been stupid thinking that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, what a signing he's been. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's been a great signing. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean it's for me at the moment they're moving in the right direction and they're
Yeah.
doing things. They're doing things great. Like Kirkes, Kirkes is now going to have a medical. Probably, I think it's today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, and again, another piece of business done. They're talking about Kwanzaa going to buy Leverkusen.
I think the Kwanzaa one's been wrapped up now.
There you go then. See,
Yeah,
so
that's been wrapped up.
yeah. So for me, it's great business on in terms of what Liverpool are doing.
Yeah.
It's great business now.
Mm. No. Listen, I think yeah, as we spoke last week, man, there was putting some transfers together. I think the only one that was confirmed was Frimpong. And
Yeah,
then obviously we knew the Verts one was definitely going to happen. I think personally, man, I think to get Kirkes, Frimpong, and Verts in, which was expected to be happening, is great business. Um, I think the most impressive one, as we just mentioned, is the Quansah one, because I mean Quansah, what, he's not a regular, and the
no,
way that deal just got wrapped up, and I can see why they want Quansah, because they've lost Jonathan Tah by
yeah,
Leverkusen, who was their captain. So Quansah coming in to replace him is good business, really. But I'm just impressed by the way that how Liverpool managed to just get 34 mil for Quansah.
yeah,
I don't wish
yeah,
Man United can just move as fast as that. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's mad
Because
when you think about it and you think, is he worth 34 mil? I don't know if he is, but to sell him, it's potential you're buying, isn't it?
Yeah, man. It's mad. It's mad. I mean, he's an England '21 international. He's a senior international actually as well. So
Yeah,
I think 34 million for him, I would say is quite fair in comparison to him being an international, and he has had a few games for Liverpool as well.
yeah,
But I'm just more impressed with how they managed to get that deal done so quickly.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
as we know with United take years to get one deal done. So the fact that Liverpool have got 4 deals done, one of them going out, and again, you look at the Frimpong one, they've paid nothing for Frimpong because the 10 million from Trent was used on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, they've had a great window, and I can still see Liverpool signing at least another 1 or 2 players personally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but there's also talks now of, because they've gotten rid of Kwanzaa, and if Konate goes, or if Konate's looking at leaving, they're looking at bringing in Mark Gahey,
I've heard that, but I mean, you know what, Guehi's a very good defender, and Newcastle as well were looking at him, I think a season ago, and Newcastle actually offered 70 million, which got turned down.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite. I mean, I know his contract's run down, so I'm not quite sure how much Palace are looking to accept for him. I think it'll be a lot less than 70 million. But what I would say is that I can see why they're going for him, but I'm just a bit surprised they're not going for a left-footed player to add the balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's that, and then there's the young lad from is it Ajax?
Yeah, Yoro Hato.
Yeah, you
mentioned him last week. Yeah, the other week.
That they're also eyeing up. So it's a case of, I know you still got Konate, you still got Van Dijk, you still got Gomez, but again, you don't know how injury, like, again, Gomez is injury prone, Konate is out at some point in the season. So again, to have 2 come in is not a bad shout. Robertson could be going to Atletico.
Yeah.
With a year left on his contract. So it'd be interesting to see if they wrap that up along with Nunes and Diaz.
Yeah. The Robertson one I've heard, and I think especially with Kirkes coming in, I think definitely Robertson must feel like his days are numbered at Liverpool. And they still got Tsimikas as well, but I think bringing in Kirkes, it's very obvious Kirkes is going to be first choice. So I can see the Robertson one happening. Just quickly, big up to Hammers Football TV. Yeah, big up, man, for coming on. Appreciate the sub, man, and the like. As I said, man, if you guys got any questions, make sure you throw us your questions. And big up to Broderick and to Aze Achieves as well. Guys, each and every time, man, big up yourselves. And as I say, give us your questions. And again, if you do enjoy the stream, smash that like button. And again, subscribe to my channel as well. So yeah, just getting back to what I was saying. So yeah, the Robertson one, as I said, I think, because I mean, I'm hearing people saying that he might stay on for another season, but if he's going to stay on and be understudy, I'll be very surprised. And the fact that Atletico want him, I think he's going to be playing Champions League football, different kind of culture there as well. Playing under a manager that is defensive first and foremost. So he won't get as exposed in his older age as well.
Yeah.
It's a slower league in terms of, it's a less physical league, should I say?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he could definitely leave. Just depends how much Liverpool are willing to sell him for. But
it's that, and I also think that in terms of shithousery, Atletico is probably the best place for him to go, because he's that sort of player. So it's probably it probably suits him well. If he's going to go anywhere, that's where you'd probably want to go.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he'd be a good signing for them, actually, to be fair as well. And again, he'll be bringing like that winning mentality, which their kind of club, has an abundance in a sense, especially with the manager. Although they haven't won as much as they would have liked to, you can tell the manager's a winner. You know what I mean? And I think someone like Robertson fits into that mold as well. I mean, what about other teams? Do you see any other teams, Obviously apart from Man City, do you see anyone else troubling Liverpool this season in terms of the signings?
Arsenal need to start doing deals. Unless unless Arsenal start doing deals,
Yeah.
I don't really see. I see Arsenal doing what Arsenal do every season, which is getting there or thereabouts and then falling off.
Yeah,
falling apart. But I think they need to. I think they need to pick up their signings. I mean, from the time Man United are signing players and you're not signing players,
yeah,
it says a lot in this window. A team that are 15th and people are going, oh yeah, but why are they signing? It's because the manager's going, I need to think about what I'm going to do for the first 5 games. Because the first 5 games you guys have got as a Man United fan is not easy, is it? It's going to be
Well,
a
listen,
test.
we're gonna get into that in a bit. We're gonna get into that in a bit. Don't worry, because I've got to have my say on that, because I think this manager's in trouble personally. But yeah, we'll get into that. Go on.
Yeah, but yeah, the first, like I say, for me personally, I don't know, unless there's no one really that I look at and I think, apart from Man City, that I look at and I think to myself, you could be troubling. I know Chelsea have made a few signings, but again, who are they letting go?
Yeah.
And there's no one else really. Newcastle have more or less kept the same team, unless Isaac goes in this window, depending on. Do you know what I mean? I know Liverpool are trying to. They've made him their main target, but again, that's.
Do you think Liverpool have any chance of getting him?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I thought you could say no.
Nah, I think the problem is when you look at it, and even when you look at the Wirtz deal, and you look at what Liverpool are doing, it must be something to do with either Arne Slot or whatever our sporting director's doing. Like, at the end of the day, they're doing something right, because they're bringing in players that you think, you let Trent go, you bring in Frimpong. You let Robertson go, you bring in Kirk. Do you know what I mean? It's you're now looking at it and you're going, and you look at the age of these players and you think you got probably a good another 10 years out of them. I know you're looking at Alisson and you're looking at Van Dijk, but again, you bring someone else in who's a little bit younger, as like a Hato, as a defender, who could potentially be another, do you know what I mean? Another captain. Or you look at McAllister, you look at Sobbers, like, do you know what I mean? Or you look at Jones, you look at a local lad to become a captain.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. They're all young enough. There's no one really above 30 apart from Alisson and Van Dijk at this point, and Robertson.
Yeah.
So it's quite a young team. So for me personally, I'm looking at it and going, the way they're doing business is correct. So it's interesting to see how they go about doing, because they'll offer. They're not afraid to offer the money. They know we've got the money. That's not the problem. It's just whether or not Isaac turns round. Because I think the only way it'll happen is if Isaac turns round and goes, "It's my dream move. I want to go Liverpool."
Yeah.
And he'll have to not push it, but he'll have to be like, "Look, I like it here at Newcastle, but Liverpool could offer me something else." Do you know what I mean? And that for me is where it will be telling. Is if they turn around, because they know what they're buying in Isaac. It's not like they're buying an unknown. They know exactly what they're buying. So it's in terms of, are they going to make that money back? Are they looking to win Champions League? Are they looking to win this league? Do you know what I mean? Are they looking to win Cup? Are they looking to go and win the Premier League again? Because they're not taking their foot off the gas. That's what it says to me in this transfer window. That Liverpool are not resting on their laurels and going, okay, we can sort of wait it out and maybe think about who we want to get. They're like, no, we need to get them this window, because if we get them this window, we're winning something next season, and that's what it says to me.
Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, I'll make you right. I think in terms of the intent that Liverpool is showing, I definitely agree. Their intent is to defend this title and defend it properly. And again, Champions League as well, they're going to be looking at that. The only thing I had my reservations in terms of Isak is because Liverpool have already spent what 116 million on Florian Wirtz, which obviously is going to rise as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing is, and they spent what close to, I think 50 million on Kirkes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's anywhere between 40 and 50. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think is it 40 fixed and then add-ons or something? It might be. Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
So my thing is, you've already spent what about 170 odd million already. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got Frimpong in, but the one with Frimpong, I don't really count that because, as I said, they're paying that over installments. Yeah. So that's more or less a free signing. I look at. Yeah. The only thing I have, I think where I don't think Liverpool can get Isak is because I've never seen Liverpool spend about 250 in one season. You know, I've never seen that, and that's what it's going to take for them to get Isak. And my thing is, if they sell Darwin Núñez, then fair enough. You know, you're going to have money to play with to get Isak. But I just think, regardless of what Isak wants, Newcastle are not going to make it. They're not going to make it easy for Liverpool. And I believe you're looking at about British transfer record to get Isak from Newcastle, and I can't see Liverpool spending that amount of money in one window. I've never seen it. You know, if I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up, but I just don't see it. And I'll tell you now, if they get Isak, they'll be the favourites for the title again. And I'll go one further. I reckon they should at least get to the final of the Champions League if they get him.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the way you've got to look at it is what you got to think about now is it's not only in terms of, because I know we've never seen Liverpool spend 250, but when you look at what John Henry said about investing in the club and investing what Klopp needs and investing in, because now they're not even looking at the rest. FSG are not looking at the rest of the group. They're now looking at Liverpool as their moneymaker now. So now they're going, okay, he won it last year with Klopp's team. Now let's give him a little bit of money and because you still got to think, you still get money from selling Núñez, you still get money from selling Diaz. If you sell Robertson, you still make money. That's not to mention the money that you get from the Premier League, the money that you get for where you got to in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? It's those little things where I sort of think to myself, Liverpool could more or less be like, we got the money, let's spend it. Why are we rest? Do you know what I mean? And I know it's hard to imagine, like you say, because Liverpool have never spent 250 in a window. But this might be the year they just go, do you know what? We need to win it. Let's spend the money.
Yeah.
Because they'll make it back. They'll make it back in shirt sales, easy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you know what? Apologies, because it's going to be more than 250.
Yeah.
So you're looking at close to 300 mil in one window.
Yeah.
I can't see it personally, you know. And if they do that, then I'll tell you now, they'll mean business. But as a Chief says, Ekatike to Liverpool, you know. And for me, I think it's more likely a signing. I think the only issue there, the stumbling block, is how much he's going to cost. You know, there's been rumors saying he's going to cost his release clause at 84 mil.
Yeah.
I do believe that if Liverpool do get Ekatike, I think they get him for less than his release clause. Whether he's their top target or not, I'm not too sure. But because obviously we all know that Liverpool do want Isak, but as I said, I can't see Newcastle giving him up easily. And again, if he does go, it's going to be for mad money. So as I says, man, Ekatike to Liverpool, I think is more likely. But again, he's got interest from Chelsea, Man United. So yeah, I think he's more than likely a signing. And to be fair, I think Ekatike, I think the one thing about him is that can he transform his form? Because remember, I think he's only done it for one season, you know, at Eintracht Frankfurt. Can he transform his form to England? I think he's got all the attributes, but I don't believe he'll score as many goals as what he's done in Germany, in my opinion. I think he's not that sort of player. I think he's more of a link man striker that can provide more assists, if anything.
Yeah.
So whether Liverpool want to, because I think it's pretty clear what kind of striker Liverpool are looking for.
Yeah.
And
I
think
they want someone that can finish.
Yeah, there was, and the thing is, he can finish. I think Isak's a better finisher, but it's just the price, man. That's going to be the problem. And
But
yeah,
my question is, if you're willing to pay, like say, they might get him less than the release clause, but if you're willing to pay 84 million for Ekitike, why would you not just go and spend the money on Isak, knowing that he's proven in this league? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Because at this moment, the risk is.
But again, Isak would cost less money than what Ekitike is rumored to be going for.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the only problem.
Yeah.
But
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. I'm going to stick with what I'm saying though. I can't see Liverpool getting Isak. I just can't see it. I think especially the fact that Newcastle got Champions League football. I think if Newcastle didn't get Champions League football, getting Isak would have been a lot easier. I think.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, they don't need to sell him. And I know PSR obviously is making it difficult for them to try and sign players. But I think they've got other players that they would much prefer to sell before they sell Isak. I think the likes of Isak, Tonali, and Bruno Guimaraes, I think they're off limits for any other clubs, in my opinion. But
the other player I don't think they sell is Joe Linton. I don't think they get rid of Joe Linton. I think it's because he's like a Jordan Henderson of Newcastle.
I know what you mean. He's someone that's like an unsung hero, basically.
Yeah. And that's all. And that's what he's just there to do his job. Yeah. He's not the prettiest of players, but if you need 110%, he'll give you 110%.
I agree. Question from Hammers Football TV says, do you think that with this transfer window, we will see the same type of business from the last summer's window, apart from City and Liverpool, everyone else falling way behind? Big up Hammers Football TV. What I would say is that, obviously, as we know, the Club World Cup is on. So you look at the likes of Chelsea that are in there. If we're talking about the English teams, I do think Chelsea will sign. I think Chelsea have got another 2 or 3 signings in them. And I think they have to make another 2 or 3 signings. So I think you can put Chelsea in the bracket of City and Liverpool. I think apart from those 3 clubs, Man United, for me, need to sign about 3 or 4 players. I mean, they've got, obviously, Cunha there already. So for me, they need to get another 3 or 4 players. All the other teams, I'm not too sure. But what I would say is that a lot of the teams do need to make signings. But the fact that it's been such a quiet window in a sense for all the other teams apart from City and Liverpool is concerning for me, because the way that I look at it, I just see those 2 teams running away with the league. I don't think no one catches them. I know Arsenal have they're wrapping up the Zubimendi deal, but for me, they're losing Thomas Partey, who's arguably their best midfielder.
But do you think he goes? This is another question. So
Partey?
No, Zubimendi.
Yeah, well, from what the reports are today, he's basically flying over to find it to finalize it. Yeah. It's looking like, because obviously at first he was waiting for Real Madrid. It looked like, but I think he's definitely getting that deal over the line now. Yeah, so I think he does go there definitely. And I think he's flying over now. So they've wrapped that one up. But them losing Thomas Partey, I think it's going to be a big miss.
Yeah.
And I think that, are they going to get another midfielder in? I don't think they are. Everyone knows that Liverpool, Arsenal need another striker. Obviously, they're linked to Sesko. Obviously, linked to Gyökeres as well. But apart from that, man, I think the window has been very quiet for a few teams that I'm surprised at.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Hammers Football TV, I think the window might be similar. I'm not saying it's going to stay like that, but I think from what we're seeing at the moment, I think it's quite similar. And City, Liverpool, and I put Chelsea in there. I think Chelsea will sign some players, but I can't really see too much difference, if I'm honest.
My problem is with Chelsea, you sign another 2 or 3 players, and I know they're getting rid of players, but again, who else are you getting? Like, I know they're getting rid of Modric. I know they're talking about getting rid of Nkunku. And then there's talks of Nicholas Jackson going from Chelsea
Yeah,
to Arsenal.
yeah.
Which for me, I don't understand why Arsenal would be looking at Nicholas Jackson when you had Nketiah, who is more or less similar.
Yeah, I understand.
Do you know what I mean? In terms
Yeah, I
of
understand. Yeah.
you could have had that player in
Mm.
Nketiah if you'd have just given him the time.
The difference though between Nketiah and Jackson, what I would say though, yeah, is that I could if Arsenal was to sign Jackson, I could see why they would want him, because if you look at Jackson as a player, as we know, he's not polished. You know what I mean? He's someone
No,
that
yeah,
will miss a lot of chances. But I think in terms of what he offers as a lone striker, he can occupy defenses. And I think if you've got the likes of, Odegaard there creating Saka, and then, if they get a left winger, or if they're going to stick with the likes of Martinelli and Trossard out there, they will get more opportunities with a Jackson in there, because, as I said, Jackson's got relentless running. He's an unselfish player in that sense as well.
yeah,
And I think he occupies defenses. And I think that's probably what Arteta might be looking for. Because if I'm looking at Sesko and looking at Nicholas Jackson, I'm going for Nicholas Jackson all day long over Sesko. I think Jackson will score more goals for one, and I think he's more of a handful. So
yeah.
That's what I will say, man. But so he's been rumored. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But as A Chief says, I think Isak will stay. He's told fans a lot that he wants to stay. I think Newcastle don't want to give Isak to any Premier League team. And again, I totally agree with that, because I've said this before. The only clubs I see Isak going to, because let's not forget as well, Isak's already played in Germany. He played for Borussia Dortmund. He's not going to go to Bayern Munich because Harry Kane's there. Would he go to France? I mean, to be honest with you, him going to PSG would be a great move. But again, PSG playing with that fluid front three.
Exactly.
Obviously, Gonzalo Ramos is there, and there's rumors about him going. But the fact of the matter is, if they was to get in an Isak has to start. So that fluid front three, even though Isak can fit into there, what does that mean for Dembele? Does Dembele go back to the right, and him and Kvaratskhelia on the flanks with Isak? So there's questions there, really. But for me, I think the only clubs he goes to is Barcelona. Barcelona is crying out for Isak, because Lewandowski is not going to be around forever.
No,
and Barcelona are going to need to get a striker when he's done. So Isak for me is the only obvious replacement.
Yeah.
And again, I don't see Barcelona paying what Newcastle would charge for any Premier League team.
No. But again, we charged them 120 for Coutinho.
Yeah, but again, what I would say on that one is, did Coutinho say he wanted to leave?
Yeah. So the rumor was, when Barcelona came knocking for Coutinho, the rumor was, because every Brazilian we know wants to play for Barcelona, which is understandable.
South American, let's say.
It's where they want to end up. So South America, automatically look at Barcelona and go, Barcelona is where Ronaldinho was. Do you know what I mean? Where Messi was. It's where all these great players end up. So they sort of look at it and go to themselves, if Barcelona come knocking, how do I say no? And I think that's what happened. Was Barcelona came knocking. He had a conversation with Klopp where the rumor was that Klopp basically said, if you want to go, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm just letting you know you'll just become another player at Barcelona. You stay here and I can make you make this team great, basically. And he was like, I want to go. So Klopp was like, that's fair enough. I'll let you go. And then we saw what happened. Do you know what I mean? He went on loan to Aston Villa. He went, and then he's gone back to, was it Brazil he's gone back to?
I think he's back in Brazil now, I believe. Yeah. I think it's
Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's a matter of fact of, when Barcelona come knocking, it's a bit like the whole Trent thing with Real Madrid. He'd won a lot with Liverpool, and it was Real Madrid have come knocking. I think for Liverpool fans, it was more or less just the way he had done it, more than what he had actually done. It's the way he had gone about it.
No, I agree. I think the Coutinho one was an obvious one for me. He was always gonna be moved. He was always gonna go. You know what I mean? And South Americans, when it comes to Barca, Real Madrid, it's very impossible to kind of stop them, especially if they're regarded as one of the best players in the world. But what I would say with Coutinho, 120, you know, in this day and age now, I think 120 for a top player like that isn't really that mind-boggling in a sense now, because as I said, it sounds mad to say that, but I look at what Newcastle would want for Isak, and as Hammers Football TV has said, 150 to 200 million. That's how much I think they would ask for. And again, he's not worth that, but you have to think what he's worth to Newcastle. So even if he was to go to Barcelona, I can guarantee you now, Newcastle wouldn't sell him for that amount. They wouldn't. It's only because you don't want to sell him to a direct rival in the league. You know, and it's understandable. That's why I'm saying I can't see Liverpool sign him, because Liverpool are not going to pay, for me, 150 or 200 million for Isak, because you just spent 116 on Florian Wirtz, and obviously the eventual fee is add-ons. I don't see Newcastle accepting anything less than 150 up front, and then you got to do the add-ons. That's what I think. But unless Isak comes out and says he wants to leave, then obviously, you know, Newcastle got a decision to make. But I don't think Isak does that, because he's got a great relationship with the fans, you can see. And it's one of them things where he probably does want to go to Liverpool. But he's not going to force the move, in my opinion. I think the only way he goes is if Newcastle have to sell a big player like him for mad money. And then, but it's going to be on their terms, because I believe 150 will be the starting point. You know, so it's going to be tough, man. But I think definitely they would like to have him, but it's a long shot, man, in my opinion. But what do you think of the Luis Diaz? Because obviously the noise around him's gone quiet now in regards to him moving to Barcelona.
To be honest with you, if he wants to go, I'm not going to stop him. If he wants to stay, I'd happily have him. I have no qualms about him going or staying. Personally, I'd like him to stay, only because he is a great, like, I tell you what he's like, and it's hard. He's like Nunes, but a bit better finishing. So he's a bit of chaos. He's got a bit better control. But when you see him in front of goal, sometimes he does the complicated thing rather than doing the simple thing. And I like Diaz as a player because he's got that silkiness to him where he's got that touch where he can get past the player. And him, Gakpo, and Salah work brilliantly. There's no doubt about that. But again, for me personally, it depends on what he wants to do as a player. Like if Barcelona come knocking and he wants to go, and they're selling at the right money, which is like 70 mil. I mean, I'd cash in. But again, who do you? I know we've still got Chiesa and we've got Gakpo, and you've got.
You know what? Sorry, just quickly. So what you think Diaz will go for 70 mil?
Well, that's the conversations. That's what they're looking at, apparently. 60 something mil.
I can't. I'll be surprised if he goes for 70 mil.
Why? What makes you say that he wouldn't go for that amount?
The thing is, it's not that I could never see that happening, but I'll be surprised, because when I look at 70 million pound players now, I'm looking at, here's a prime example. I'm looking at, if I look around Europe, I'm looking at a Right now, an Arda potential 70 mil. I look at Diaz because Diaz is what? Is he 20? Was he 28, 27?
27, I think he is.
So you could argue he's in his prime now, actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought personally 50 to 60 million Diaz. I can't see 70 mil. I can't see Barcelona spending 70 mil on him either.
Yeah. The thing is, you'd be surprised because you look at who's Sporting striker that they want to sell.
Gyökeres, yeah.
Gyökeres is 27. His buyout clause is, I think
so his buyout clause is about, I think his buyout clause might be about 70 million pounds, I think, something like that. But he's got a gentleman's agreement to leave for 55, I think.
Ah, okay. I didn't realize the gentleman's agreement.
Obviously, as we know, these gentlemen's agreements mean nothing anyway, man.
Exactly.
Nonsense. It's nonsense. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But for 70 mil, you're talking about buying a guy that's 27. He plays in the Portuguese league?
Yeah.
He's not. I don't know what his goal tally's like, but again, you could put Diaz in that Portuguese league, and I guarantee you'd more or less have what Gyökeres. Do you know what I mean? It's when you start weighing up, like when I start looking at that, and I look at players like Doué. Is he as good as Doué? Like, if anything, he's just as good as Doué. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's those sort of players that I look at, and I think to myself, like, Diaz is more than capable, and there's not many players that are like Martinelli. For me, is not on the level of Diaz.
No way.
Do you know what I mean? But Martinelli could be a good player, but again, it's that whole finishing thing. It's when he gets in front of goal.
Yeah,
it's like he has a brain fart. It's like he doesn't know what to do with the ball. It's like he panics. Whereas, like, Núñez would be good in the Spanish league because that would suit him.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's that sort of, and we paid. When you look at Núñez before he came to Liverpool, he was brilliant.
And I think Portuguese league, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? So again, you look at it, you go,
yeah.
But
I think you know what? I think if Liverpool would do well for me to get between Diaz and Núñez, if they was to get, let's say, 150 for both of them, I think that they'll do well to get that for both of them. I believe. Yeah. And again, if that was to happen, then you can see that money being spent on getting an Isak because the money will be there. But as I said, I think 70 mil for Diaz. I'm a bit shocked. I'm not sure. I mean, personally, I can't see anyone paying that in Europe. If I'm honest, I can't see it. But I think Darwin Núñez. I mean, he was bought for 70 mil. Funny enough, and I do think unless it's Saudi, Liverpool are gonna lose money. They'll make a loss on him, in my opinion.
Yeah, we will do.
So,
but
I think definitely Diaz out of the two is the more attractive player to sell.
Yeah.
You know, Núñez I think will be difficult unless it's Saudi. But there was rumors of, obviously, I think we spoke about it the other week. Julian Alvarez swapped with Darwin Núñez. Yeah, which would be a great news for Liverpool.
Yeah, you throw Robertson in that deal.
Yeah, well,
it looks a bit more lucrative now because you're getting
that would be a great deal. But I mean, I can't. I mean, I've never seen them deals done really too regularly.
No.
You know, Robertson and Núñez in swap deal for Alvarez. I think Atletico would still ask for some money on top as well.
Yeah.
You know, so. But I think definitely. I think there'll be some movement on either player. I think Núñez is more the likely one to go, if I'm honest. Because obviously Barca are signing Nico Williams.
Yeah.
So and they've actually agreed a deal today for a winger from Copenhagen called Rooney Bagaji.
Okay.
I haven't even heard of him, but they basically saying he's the Swedish Messi. So even because I knew about him before, he got linked to Barcelona, and I watched him a few times before, and he was rated highly then. and they were saying, yeah, he's the Swedish Messi. So Barca are getting him for like 2 million.
I freaking know.
Yeah, madness. So he's going to be competing with Yamal on that right hand side, and I think Bargagi's only, I want to say, he's like 18 or 19 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that would be interesting, man.
Yeah, it will, man. So they're doing their business left and right flanks to be back up to obviously Bargagi will be back up to Yamal, and they got Nico Williams to come in that left hand side and battle with Rafinha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're revamping their attack, but I think as well with Diaz, I mean, Barca was the only strong option, really. I don't really see who else is going to come in for him apart from Saudi, really. But
yeah.
But Hammers Football TV says, apparently to the Arsenal faithful, all Arsenal's business being completed on the 1st of July.
So is that just Zubimendi? Is that it?
yeah. There you go, man. There you go. I mean, if Arsenal's business is being completed on the 1st of July, well, we're on 23rd of June right now. Yeah, they've got one signing, and let me tell you for free, if their signings are Zubimendi and Sesko, they're finishing 5th. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah,
because you don't finish 2nd, and then come out with 2 signings like that and think you're gonna try and win the title. Ain't gonna happen.
Exactly. And you look at City and you look at Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool finished 1st, and bearing in mind they've lost their right back and lost nobody else.
Yeah,
lost their right back, and they're now going, okay, cool. We're gonna sell him. We're gonna buy him. We're gonna buy him. We're gonna buy him. Do you know what I mean? They're buying 3 or 4 different players. They've already bought 3 players, and we're not even at the end of the week yet. Do you know what I mean? So from the time you're looking at it in June, by the 25th, 26th of June, or by the 27th of June, should we say? So by the end of the week, Liverpool have made 3 signings, let go of 2 players, and made what, 45, 46 mil of 2 players.
It's great business, man. Great
business.
business.
Do you know what I mean? And then bought 3 players in. So you got to look at it and sort of go to yourself, what the hell are Arsenal doing?
Listen, that their fan base, they're deluded. That's the first thing. And as I said, if they think it's enough to just get Sesko and Zubimendi in, I don't know what to say. I'm still hearing rumors of them going for Rodrigo. They've got to part that one off. That ain't gonna happen. Rodrigo's not coming to North London. I can tell you that for free, man. He ain't gonna do that. If he goes anywhere, it'll be West London, or even in Manchester. So they're not gonna get Rodrigo. That's a certainty, And as Hammers football team says, Jonas, they want a younger version of Nketiah in the Nicholas Jackson. Again, if they want that, then I don't really know what they're playing at, man. Like, they need to just fix themselves up and just go and get a serious striker. I'm not going to believe in Arsenal until they do what's required, because as we can see, Liverpool and City are just pulling away. And if they think Sesko's the answer, then more for them, because they need to get a striker in that is better than what they've got. Sesko, for me, isn't better than Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz ain't even a natural striker. So... No. What are they playing at? It's madness, but that's their problem. You know what I mean? That's their problem.
Exactly.
Big up to Abdallah Cundinho. Obviously a mix of Kun Aguero and Ronaldinho. Big up myself, man. So says Alvarez is destined to move to Barcelona. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, yeah. I didn't actually see that, but I know exactly what he means now, because South American.
Yeah.
He's already playing in the league as well.
Yeah.
They need a striker.
Do you go from Atletico to Barca? Is it a step up or is it a step sideways? Do you know what I mean?
Thibaut Courtois went from Atletico Madrid to Chelsea to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Griezmann went from Atletico to Barca.
And then back to Atletico. Yeah.
And then back to Atletico. And I think there's been a few others as well. I mean, do you know what? The Alvarez one, I didn't see that to Barca, but I see it now, because Alvarez can play as a false 9 and link the play, and can play as a target man, like a number 9 on the shoulder striker as well.
Yeah.
The only problem is that he's going to cost 100 mil.
Yeah,
Easy.
easy.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see that happening, but whether Barca have chosen him to be their next one, I mean, all the signs are there really in here. The age, South American, he's played in the league. I can see that happening, but I just don't know whether Atletico are going to be open to letting him go that easily, man.
Yeah,
So
I can't. I don't know if it. I don't like you say. I don't know if it goes that easy.
yeah, yeah. But you know what? He's one name though that I forgot about. That yeah, I think we have to kind of take seriously now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, big up to Saeed. Yeah, big up Saeed for coming on, guys. Come on, there's 8 of you in there. Make sure we smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. So Saeed says Arsenal fans said Sesko is better than Haaland, and when his agent said that they won't negotiate, he was never good. I mean, if there's any quotes, if that's true, then please put that in. But listen, Haaland for me as a footballer isn't the greatest, you know.
No,
But when it comes to goal scoring, you know, he can't be argued. But
exactly.
I'm sorry, man. If Arsenal fans think Sesko's on Haaland's level, then they should be sectioned as soon as possible, man, because that's unforgivable. That, you know what I mean? Yeah, like that's just nonsense.
It
It's
is
nonsense.
nonsense.
I'm actually surprised, yeah, that Arsenal are actually going for Sesko. You know, I'm actually surprised, but yeah, if they think he's going to be the next Haaland, then good luck with that, man.
I just don't understand who has the power. Like, who's doing the transfer? Like, I know Arteta's basically turning around and going, I want this, this, and this, and these are top of my list.
Mm.
But again, to me, it sounds like it's a battle over at Arsenal. Like, who's got
Yeah.
the power? Like, who's making the decision that turns around and goes, actually, I don't want him, but I want him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think from what I'm hearing it's still Arteta. Even though Berta's come in, I'm hearing that Arteta is the one that's still that is still pulling rank, you know. And if that's the case,
that's
then
ridiculous.
is there any surprise what kind of players they're going for?
No, none at
Yeah,
all.
it's madness. It's absolute madness. But
None at all. But again, they should be working in. They should be working in tandem with each other. Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure. I'm pretty sure Pep is going to his sporting director and going, look, I know we're getting rid of this, and this. However, I know we're not going to spend shitloads, but I know we need to go and get this person.
yeah.
I know we need to go and get this person.
Mm,
Like, you guys go and work out the deal. I don't care how you get the deal done, but go and work it out.
yeah,
And if it doesn't get done, then it doesn't get done. But at the end of the day, surely you've got to be looking at players that are going to fit into your system.
mm,
And to me, I don't understand how you let Partey go, who, as you say, has been rightly said, has been brilliant this season.
yeah,
You let Partey go and you bring in Supermendy when what you should have done realistically was go, Partey, we're going to keep you for another season. Like, we want to sign you on. If anyone
mm,
comes in and decides to buy you, that's fine. However, our idea is to keep you here
yeah,
because you and Declan work so well together.
mm,
So why would I ruin that and go and get Zubimendi, who I don't know is if he's going to work as well
yeah,
or if he's going to be crap against with Declan Rice? Do you know what I mean? It's a
yeah.
case of, and what happens if Zubimendi comes and he gets injured? Who sits in that role with him? Do you know what I mean?
Bro, the thing is, yeah, I'll tell you what it is, yeah. The reason Arsenal want Zubimendi is because Arteta is just trying to recreate Pep. That's what he's trying to do because Zubimendi is a poorer version of Rodri, basically. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
Zubimendi is a very good player, but he's trying to get in Zubimendi to do a similar job to what Rodri does. You know, but
yeah,
as you said, Thomas Partey, you know, I think once Thomas Partey's gone, you're going to realize how much of a miss he is because not
exactly.
only is he defensively their best central midfielder, he adds physical presence to them as well.
Yeah,
And they're going to be losing that in getting Zubimendi. I mean, Zubimendi will be a better passer of the ball, you know, better in the tight spaces. But
yeah,
in terms of the physicality side of it, he's going to be found wanting, definitely. And
exactly.
all I remember is the game that they played against United in the Europa League, and he was just getting bullied by Casemiro and that in there, you know. So
and that's my thing.
yeah,
How can you come to a league where not everything's based on strength, but the teams that are winning stuff are the teams that are bullying you in that midfield?
yeah,
Do you know? Do you know what I mean? The teams that are doing stuff are the teams that are bullying you in that midfield. Games are won in that midfield, and if you ain't got a man in there that's like, I know Declan will do a job, but again, what's Supermendy gonna do? If Declan's doing all of that, you're taking away from his other part of the game.
Yeah. And the things as well with Declan Rice is that he's a box to box midfielder. So if you're gonna have a midfield of Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, I can tell you this: I think against the best teams, they're gonna struggle with that three because you know you got one player in Odegaard who's their captain, and let's be honest with you, he doesn't really show up when it really matters. Declan Rice against better teams, you know, you can't trust him to really keep the ball. He's someone that just plays sideways anyway, you know. And then Zubimendi, as we said, the physicality of him, how's he going to go up against, you know, powerful central midfields? I'll tell you what would be a good battle. It would be, imagine if they had that three of Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard up against Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, and Joe Linton. Because Joe Linton, Tonali, and Bruno Guimaraes, not only, I mean, if we take out Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes and Tano Tonali, not only are they tenacious, but they can also play as well.
Yeah.
And then you've got Joe Linton, who's just a shithouse, you know, and physical.
Yeah.
So you like, this is my thing. Like, how is that three there gonna combat the other three? Because from what I've seen of Odegaard as well, Odegaard doesn't really fancy it once he gets roughed up.
No.
You know, so
and that's the problem. Once he starts getting roughed up.
Bro, sorry, 1 second, baby, 1 minute, because I think my thing's just frozen. Let me just refresh the page, innit?
Yeah.
One sec. Yeah, sorry, it's back. Yeah, because I had my chat was just frozen because there was a. Oh, it's done the same thing again.
There's another question afterwards.
Yeah, 1 minute. Let me just.
Yeah. Good.
I was trying to find. There's a question I see from. Guys, big up yourselves each and every time as well. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Where is it gone? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So Hammer Football TV said, and I'll let you answer it first. Where do you think Jokeris will end up?
I don't know. In all honesty, who's in for him at the moment? Like, has anyone made any specific contact for him to go anywhere, or is it?
You know what it is? There's been a lot of interest. There's been obviously Arsenal, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and I think them clubs are getting linked because he's a striker that scored a lot of goals in Portugal. But
yeah, I
don't really think there's that much interest in him as what there's led to believe. You know,
exactly.
But where do you think he goes? Because I've got my reason for where he goes.
I'll be honest, I can see him ending up at United.
Do you know what? It's mad. It's mad because someone else I spoke to the other day said the same thing. Even though obviously he come out saying he wants Arsenal, or that was rumored to be said.
Yeah.
There's a sneaky feeling that it's United.
Yeah.
So you reckon United, yeah?
I reckon he goes United because when you look at, because he adds a different thing to your game. So in terms of, so like for instance, if he ends up at United, I think Højlund's already out the door. I think Højlund's out the door. I think there's no question about that.
Yeah.
I think Xerxes stays, but I think Xerxes again is different to Gyökeres. I think if he goes, Gyökeres is going to be what Højlund should have been.
Okay.
That's what I think it ends up happening. I think
Yeah.
Højlund goes, and I think Gyökeres comes in and does exactly what Højlund was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because you've got Cunha.
No. I mean, I can see it. I can see it. I mean, personally, I don't see him going to United, and I think everything points to him going to United in terms of his old manager. You know, United need a striker, etc. And as you said, in terms of the profile that he is to Xerxes, he's a lot different. You know, and I think what annoys me is that the fact that, because I don't actually believe United need a striker as desperate as what's been rumored.
No.
Because the only reason they're saying United need a striker is because of this system. Because if this system, as I said before, gets changed to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, you just restore Xerxes back to being a striker as to what he is.
Yeah.
I'm seeing people say that Xerxes is not a striker. And it's like, what are these guys talking about for one? You know, the guy is a striker. He's just not your type of striker.
Yeah.
You know? It's like if he's not your type of striker, just say that. But don't start talking crap and say he's not a striker, because he is. He's just a different type of striker. He's like a false nine kind of striker.
He's like
and the fact that this manager is hell-bent on playing this system, it's making people think that Xerxes is a number 10, but he's not. He's a number 9.
Yeah.
A number 9 with number 10 qualities, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But in terms of Gyökeres, where can I see him end up? Yeah. Now, I was looking at Chelsea, because Chelsea, even though they've signed Liam Delap, they need another striker for me. The only issue that I think there is there with that one is the fact that Chelsea have given Delap number 9. Yeah. And Gyökeres, as we know, wears number 9 for Sporting Lisbon. So some strikers, they're out there. They want to come in and say, look, I want my number 9 shirt. You know what I mean? And the fact that Delap's a new signing has got number 9, you can't technically take off number 9 from Delap's back and then give it to Gyökeres.
Exactly.
Because why give him 9 in the first place? You know, so I'm gonna say Chelsea's a no at the moment because of that. Arsenal, obviously, as we know, they've got Gabriel Jesus as a 9.
Yeah.
Again, if Gyökeres comes in, I'm expecting him to get number 9, but then it means Jesus is gonna have to be moved on. So there's a problem there. The same thing with Højlund, as we mentioned. He's got 9, but we know he needs to be moved on, and there is interest there. Liverpool, the same thing with Darwin Núñez. Yeah. Looking like that he's going to be moving on. So all the clubs that have been linked to him already have number 9s in terms of the number 9 shirt that is on someone else's back. Chelsea was the only team that didn't have that until they signed Delap.
Yeah.
So my thing is, the fact that they've given Delap the number 9, I don't know if he comes in not being the number 9 there, number 9 shirt. Because again, people might think that these things don't really matter, but these things play a factor in football, and especially with strikers that have scored goals. You know, they're going to want their number 9 shirt. So I'm going to say, though, based on that, I'm going to say Liverpool. I think he goes Liverpool. Because I look at Darwin Núñez, and although Darwin Núñez is because Darwin Núñez and Gyökeres are not the same type of players anyway. You know, Darwin Núñez is someone that, you know, he's more of he runs the channel, but he's more of a scruffy player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Gyökeres is a bit like that, but does have a bit of technical security to his game. So I've just got a sneaky feeling that Liverpool looking for a striker. Again, they want Isak, you know, but Isak, as we've already spoken about already, the money's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
So for me, I can just see Liverpool, if they don't get Isak or Ekatike, Gyökeres might be the one that they go for. You know, because I think Osimhen probably is ideal for you guys, but there's been no links there. So but I'm going to say Liverpool.
Fair enough.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think personally he goes Man United.
You reckon?
I can see him at United, and I can see him being a threat, especially with players like when you look at Ahmad and you look at because I don't know what you need to do. I think Rashford comes back stronger than ever. You know, I think yeah. I think if anyone's going to go, it's going to be Garnacho.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the latest on that?
No.
You haven't heard?
No. What's the latest?
So I done a stream this morning. So what's happened is that Garnacho posted a picture of him in the Aston Villa top with Rashford's name on the back. Yeah. So, but the funny thing is, yeah, because there was three things. So you had that with Garnacho, you had Rashford talking to Spanish YouTubers. They reckon he's trying to engineer a move to Spain, and then you had the Sancho one where the Napoli president has come out and said they're not going to pay Sancho's rumored wage demands.
Yeah.
For me, the Garnacho one, again, I'm not even too pissed off at that, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because, as I mentioned earlier today, yeah, Garnacho has been a problem ever since he come into this first team. And I don't blame Garnacho. I blame the fans. Because I heard certain fans saying, you know, he's got the biggest potential at the club. You know, he's the heir apparent to Ronaldo's throne. You know, he's a future superstar that can go and play for Real Madrid. All this kind of crap I heard, yeah. And the thing with Garnacho is that you can just see his attitude was all wrong anyway. Bad attitude. Yeah. Like, you know, he's one of them guys that believed his hype. And what's happened now is that he's been put in the limelight at such a level by these fans, is that they're all surprised now that he's doing things like this. And someone like me that's been clocked onto this for time, I've been telling people that this guy's shit, that this guy's attitude stinks. But these guys just were trying their best to put Garnacho ahead of Sancho, put Garnacho ahead of Rashford, and now what's happened is that because the system doesn't suit Garnacho, he's actually been exposed for the bad player that he is, you know. And again, this system I'm not really in favor of, but for me, it's actually exposed how bad he is, and now he's trying to engineer a move to other clubs. But the problem Man United have with Garnacho now is that, and Garnacho knows this, Man United need the transfer fee because he's going to be pure profit. Yeah. So he's got Man United by the balls because Man United can't really sack him because they're not getting no money for him. So and obviously he knows this. So what he's doing, the fact that he got in his head, he got dropped from the Europa League final team, he's going to come out and be disruptive because he knows that the club can't do anything but sell him, and he wants to go. So he's got the club by the balls, really, and he's just taking the piss. And all of a sudden now it's like these fans are now starting to see the real Garnacho, but the real Garnacho was always there. It's just that these fans were just blinded because they were too interested in trying to big up Garnacho and put down the likes of Sancho and Rashford. And now you're getting to see what Garnacho is all about. You know, so
so a question for you then. I got a question for you then. How do you feel about Sancho? What's your thoughts on Sancho?
Oh, listen, man. For those of you that have been watching my channel for time, you will know how I feel about Sancho. For me, Sancho needs to be coming back to the club because I know if we look at the issue he had with Eric Ten Hag, for instance, he was well within his rights to say what he said back to Ten Hag, because again, what we have to look at is that if Ten Hag thinks he's like, obviously Ten Hag lost the game, and obviously the report that come out was that Sancho basically isn't training hard enough or whatever he was saying. Now, first and foremost, you've lost the game. Why is Sancho's name in your mouth? That doesn't need to be there. Secondly, you could have had a private conversation with him and done that all behind closed doors. So for me, the fact that the manager done that is because the manager tried to use Sancho as a scapegoat. Now, any man in any workplace as well, if you've got a manager that comes out and is trying to question your profession, your professionalism in like obviously to the media as well, like as a man, you're going to come out and defend yourselves. You know what I mean? The fact that Sancho come back and obviously said what he had to say against Ten Hag, I respect him for that, because I would have done exactly the same thing, if not worse. I would have called the manager out in public and saying to him, look, you know what I mean? Let's have it out, kind of thing. So I have no problem with him doing that. And obviously, once that happened, that's where it set the trend of a lot of these fans having a problem with Sancho in a sense. Yeah. Then obviously he's gone out on loan to Chelsea. You know, Chelsea have not activated the 25 million fee because of the wage. Again, Man United, where they failed Sancho is that Sancho, when he was bought by Man United, was regarded as probably the best youngster in the world at the time. Yeah. Now, he was wearing number 7 at Dortmund. When you're bringing in a player for that amount of money, you have to show them how much they wanted, because you invested in time and money into that player. The first thing you do is put your arm around his shoulder and say, look, you're going to be my guy. And the first thing you do there is give him the number 7 shirt. Yeah. They give him 25 because number 7 was on the back of Cavani. Yeah. Then when Ronaldo came, obviously Ronaldo's Ronaldo. He takes number 7, obviously for the brand. Yeah. Ronaldo goes, who gets 7? Mason Mount. Yeah. So if I'm Sancho, I'm aggrieved at the club that they've actually taken the piss out of him like that. You know, and again, he's on a higher wage as well. But for me, the fact that Man United have a front three that consists of Garnacho and Højlund, and I'm hearing people say they don't want Sancho back, is part of the problem, because this fan base is allergic to good footballers. And for me, I know obviously he said that comment to Rashford about freedom, but football fans, as you know, are fickle, man. So next thing you know, Sancho will score a goal, they'll be loving him. So for me, I don't see too much quality in this team. So when you've got a player that offers quality like Sancho, you just bring him back. You bring him back and you integrate him back into the squad. And the likes of Jason Wilcox, who had him at Man City, I'm just surprised that there's been no talk about Wilcox trying to integrate him back. And as I said, I would definitely keep him. But I mean, fans are unhappy because he's turning down deals because of his wage. But we have to realize that Sancho's got 1 year left on his contract at Man United. Yeah,
exactly.
And he wants money.
Yeah,
because he's got a massive sign-on fee. So
I don't blame him.
How can you blame him?
You can't blame him, and that's the thing.
There you go.
You can't blame the kid. I know people go, oh, yeah, but Sancho ain't doing much and blah blah. But the problem is like you say, fans are so fickle. Yeah. The problem is no one takes the time to analyze your game. So when you look at Sancho's game, you want to be playing to someone's strengths. Yeah. And the problem is United are looking at him going, but why is he not doing what he did in Dortmund? Because he's not given the ball the same way he is as he was at Dortmund, which is
he's playing in a different system as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like let the kid put your arm around him and go, look, I know the system's going to be different, but I want you to do the same things, but I may need you to track back a little bit. I may need you to do this. I may need you to do that. But again, the problem is no one's put their arm around him and sort of gone, look, this is not working. However, can we change your game slightly? And no one's done that. And that's the problem is no one's taken the time and sort of gone, but again, like you say, the moment he starts scoring free kicks, and the moment he starts doing this and that, and the moment he starts pushing things away, do you know what I mean? People start going, oh yeah, he's great now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I get it. I think he's someone that he does divide a lot of opinion. And what I would say as well and this is what I hate about football, you know, fans compare Sancho's game to a lot of the wingers in this era now. Because if you look at a lot of these wingers now, a lot of these wingers are just pace merchants, you know, head down, run with the ball. And I'll give you a prime example, Noni Madueke, terrible footballer, and Sancho will get compared to Noni Madueke because all Madueke wants to do is attack his fullback at every opportunity, you know, whereas Sancho is like a number 10 from out wide. He wants to link with the striker, you know, play the 1-2s. And again, he has very good ball manipulation. So with Sancho, if you're expecting him to just be direct and just run his man at every opportunity, he's never going to do that because he isn't that type of player. But fans compare his game to, let's say, a Madueke, but they'll never compare Madueke's game to him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which is stupid. And a lot of fans don't really get football because it's like I've never seen a player get criticized for keeping the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like these fans just want to see the ball just get turned over at every opportunity as long as he's trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is backwards. That makes no sense to me. But
Yeah.
as I said, I'm a massive fan of his, and the fact that I'm hearing fans because if we're putting all the issues to the side, and we're talking about Jadon Sancho, the footballer, there shouldn't be anyone saying they don't want this guy back when we have to watch Rasmus Højlund go on that show every fucking week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Mason Mount.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear anyone say otherwise. But again, you got fans out there that just seem to think that Sancho's poison, he needs to leave and this crap. But yeah, I'm just hoping there's a glimmer of hope that he does stay. But I think at the moment everything is pointing towards him going. But I'll tell you one thing: if he does go, it's going to be on a loan deal because if I'm Sancho, I'm just running that contract down if the club don't play him and give him money. Listen, anyone's going to do it. Yeah. If there's anyone out there that thinks otherwise, they're more for you. You know what I mean?
Because you look at it and you sort of go to yourself, I'm being paid all this stupid amount of money. And then after that, you can make a decision to go anywhere you want because you're still going to, at the end of the day, it's still Jadon Sancho. So no matter what happens, it's like Paul Pogba's now gone to Monaco.
Yeah, yeah.
And people go, you look at United and look at everything that's gone on. Paul Pogba's done all of this. And now he's come back to playing fucking Champions League football.
Bro, listen, Monaco is a very good move for him. They're getting Ansu Fati as well. So if you look at what they've got already in their team, I reckon I'll go as far as saying if Pogba rediscovers his form, I won't even say rediscover his form. I say if Pogba just gets back into the swing of things, him and Ansu Fati go in there with what they've got, and they might add a couple of more as well. I'll go as far as saying PSG are the favourites, but they can battle Marseille for that second spot, in my opinion. So
no problem.
Yeah. But again, I think there's rumours that Newcastle are looking at Sancho, Aston Villa. And I can tell you for free, if he goes to a team where, you've got the likes of Eddie Howe or Unai Emery and they put their arm around his shoulder, he's gonna thrive. He is. It's just that at Chelsea was a bit different because the way Chelsea play, they need pacey wingers.
Yeah.
And Sancho isn't that. He's not direct like that. So a lot of fans don't really know what they're actually watching. So they'll think that Sancho isn't doing too much. But as I said before, I've never seen a player get criticized for keeping the ball.
Exactly. But again,
it makes no sense to me.
That's where you look at teams like Newcastle. They look at teams like they like to keep hold of the ball because they want to come back inside. They don't always want to go. Do you know what I mean? It works well from that. I think that's why it worked well for Rashford. Yeah, because the link up for him was perfect.
Yeah, 100%. So Sai says Arsenal fans think they can get one of Rodrigo, Rafael Leao, Nico Williams. Yeah, listen, they're not getting either one of them. So let's part that. AC Milan have said 109 million for Rafael Leao. Nico Williams is going Barcelona, and Rodrigo, forget about it. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's madness. That's madness.
Yeah,
but bro, what I wanted to ask you actually, have you been watching anything of the Club World Cup?
So I watched a couple of the highlights. I've been watching bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it's from the time I've seen some of the certain scores, like Chelsea winning like something stupid like 10-0 or whatever it was. Yeah. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I was like, do you know what I mean?
You know what's funny? Yeah, I actually found out today because someone told me today that Bayern Munich, their first game, they beat, is it Auckland City 10-0?
Yeah, ridiculous.
I was laughing. I was thinking, what is this?
Absolutely ridiculous. But again, that's not for me. Auckland City, they're not even they're a professional football team, but they're like even like when you speak to, I can't remember what game it was, but they were talking to like some of the players and they were going, yeah, half of us are like teachers. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and you're playing like professional football. And they're like, yeah. It's mad. Honestly, it's mad. But even like when you look at like Flamingo beating Chelsea.
Yeah, 3-1, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's for me, I'm looking at it. Don't get me wrong. I've been watching bits and pieces. But for me, it's not. It's not. It's not exciting. It's not entertaining. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, have you heard the rumors about them sort of taking the World Cup, the World Club Cup format in terms of they're like, oh yeah, why don't we introduce our players one by one? I'm like, what for? Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
So do you know like the walkouts?
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
You know, like normally, obviously, both teams come out together.
Yeah.
What they're doing now, so in World Club Cup, what they're doing now is players are coming out singly, one after the other.
No,
so they're introducing them. Honestly, they're introducing them.
What are they trying to do? What, kill time?
But I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they're trying to do. But honestly, it's ridiculous. When you look at what because they were like, oh yeah, why don't we bring that to the Premier League? I was like, could you imagine? I said, do you know the amount of money we're spending in the Premier League on tickets already? And you don't want us to wait for a walkout every day, like every match. You don't.
I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that.
Won't let me go home. You know what I mean? I'm already paying for a season ticket, which you lot are overcharging me for, and then you want to sit here and watch them come out one by one. Listen, I could go Sunday League and watch that.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's ridiculous. But yeah, no, I've been watching bits and pieces. Like I watched the Real Madrid game.
Bro, you think I'm gonna sit and watch just to watch bloody what's his name, James Tarkowski come out one by one? Nah, forget all that. What is this? Listen, if it's a free subscription, then fair enough. But I ain't gonna be sitting there watching James Tarkowski come out one by one and start. Yeah, what's that all about?
Exactly, what is that all about?
That's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that'll be scrapped, man. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll bring it to the Premier League. But it's an American thing, isn't it? It's what the Americans do, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is the thing. You can see this is the way all this is going. American way, isn't it? Really.
But I can't see English Premier League. And can you imagine them doing that in Championship football? Could you imagine?
Yeah, I think very quickly they'll lose fans.
Yeah, very quickly
they'll lose fans because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So no, I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, no, like I said, I've been watching bits and pieces. I watched a few of the highlights. Ramos is still Ramos. Sergio, did you see his chat?
Who's he playing for? Ramos.
I can't remember what team it is. I'm sure it's a team. It's a lower league team in Spain, but they're in the World Club Cup.
Oh,
yeah, it was. He made like a 2-foot challenge, and the striker sort of, as he come in, the striker sort of went, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing that, mate."
Listen,
even the ref went. The ref.
I'm saying now, Sergio Ramos, one of the greatest defenders of all time, man.
Yeah.
He's an animal.
Horrible
animal. He's the thing is with Ramos, he's an absolute animal, but he can play. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a top defender, man. One of the best of all time. I think if we're looking at the top 5 centre backs ever, I'm sorry, he has to be in there. I don't care what anyone says.
He's got to be.
He has to be in there for me
because he's horrible in terms of the way in which he can bully you in order to get what he needs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what's horrible. He makes a horrible
challenge. I know you remember what he done to Salah in the final.
Oh, of course I do, bro. I just wish. Do you know what I wish?
I was watching that game now, and I'll tell you now, I swear to God, Ramos was laughing. I swear to God, he was laughing when he pulled his top, when he pulled his arm.
I tell you what, though, I wish it was like the old school days of if there was like a Steven Gerrard. Or like, do you know what I mean? Like someone on the pitch.
Yeah.
Gonna clean you out now.
Yeah.
What you like to see. Someone just go, I don't care about the match now. I'm clean you out. Make your arm here.
but the thing is, that's what I liked about that Real Madrid team, because if you look at the spine of their team, they had what's his name? You had Pepe and Ramos, who were just 2 hotheads. Then you had Casemiro, who just didn't give a damn. He was a hothead. Yeah. And then you had what's his name? Karim Benzema. He wasn't a hothead, but he was a controlled aggression man. That makes sense. Yeah. Like he would do. He reminded me like a Bergkamp.
Yeah.
In that sense,
he knew how to argue with you. He'd argue.
Yeah. He knew when it was time to just get a bit rough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had time for that, man. But I think football's gone away from that now. You know, I mean, you see the players now, man. I don't really see no one of that kind of character at the moment.
Nah, there's no one really with that sort of that sort of aggression in terms of like with Sergio Ramos,
Yeah,
as horrible as it's controlled. Because like you
yeah,
say, the whole Salah thing, he knew what he was doing.
yeah, yeah.
And he laughed it off,
I
got
think
off,
the
you
whole
know
world
what
knew
I
what he
mean?
was doing.
You know what I mean? Got
You know what I
off,
mean?
laughed off, and just walked off.
I
You know
I
what I
swear he
mean?
was laughing when he pulled his arm. I
Yeah,
swear he was laughing.
I'm sure he was. But
Yeah,
again, it's for me, it's the whole argument of that's the sort of defender. It's horrible to play against, but when it's
yeah,
in your team, you're like, that's brilliant.
yeah. Of course, of course,
You know what I mean?
of
And
course, of
that's what you
course.
want.
Yeah, of course, man. Like you don't want to get any arguments from me, man, because as I said, man, like he's one of my favorite defenders of all time, man, and
Yeah,
he just got the job done when he needed to, you know. And again, he had everything that a centre back needs. He had pace, he had strength. You know, he got stuck in. He could score a free kick, score a header. Like he was technical. There was no weaknesses to Ramos's game. The only player that I've seen absolutely do Ramos, yeah, well, it was two players. Robin for pure pace
yeah.
in that World Cup when Holland, I think Holland beat Spain in the group. I think it might have been.
Oh, yeah.
Robin just absolutely just blitzed him,
Burned him.
burned him. It was an absolute joke. And the other one's Ronaldinho, but that's when Ramos was young.
Yeah,
At the Bernabeu when he got a standing ovation.
yeah, Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Ronaldinho just made him look silly, man. But
Yeah, it was just their madness.
apart from that, I haven't seen too many strikers get the better of Ramos, you know, in my opinion. But
Yeah, wow.
yeah, mad player. But Sai says Xerxes when he played for Bologna had an Ivan Toney kind of role. Yeah, he did 100%. A false nine come target man. The difference between Xerxes and Ivan Toney is that Xerxes is highly more skilled than Ivan Toney. I mean, for me, Ivan Toney is a very good player, but Xerxes can play the Ivan Toney role, but he's just got so much like ability to his game as well. So yeah, again, people that are saying that Xerxes is not a striker, don't listen to them because
But
they're just talking crap, man. Let's be honest.
He is. It's like Firmino. It's like people used to tell me Firmino's not a striker, and I'm like, but he offers you a different angle to the game because the way Liverpool played was with Mane and Salah. When you look at the two wingers and you look at how much space he created, it's unreal. Like even like the little flicks around the corner. Like there was one I saw the other day where he doesn't even look. Like he doesn't even look. He just expects Salah to be there. Ball comes round. As the ball comes round, he literally just flicks it and goes, "Yeah, I know you're getting to this. I know exactly where you're meant to be." He just flicks it around the corner and Salah's there and finishes it. But again, for me, that's the sort of player that Xerxes could be.
But the thing is, Bobby Firmino was actually a number 10 because if you look at him at Hoffenheim, where he came through as a 10. The only reason he played as a 9 at Liverpool is because Liverpool changed their system, and this is what I'm trying to say to people. Yeah, when you've got wide forwards in Salah and Mane, you don't have like Salah and Mane are not going to work with a number 9 like a Nunes, because Nunes will be hungry for goals, and then you've got the two out wide that want goals. So this is why Firmino worked perfectly, because he's an actual number 10, but he was so intelligent that he could play as a false 9 and then play right up as a target man striker as well. So that's why it worked with Firmino. But to answer Broderick's question, and big up Broderick as well, but let me dispel this myth about Jay-Z ain't clinical, So Broderick's saying he isn't a 9 with 10 qualities, just a 10. Jay-Z ain't clinical, man. Right. So let me explain this, and I'm going to break it down, because again, everyone entitled to their opinions, but when people say that he's not a 9, it's a complete lie. Joshua Xerxes is a 9, first and foremost. He's a number 9 with a number 10's qualities. So he is, because when I'm saying number 10 qualities, the guy's got an eye for a pass, he can dribble, he's got a great first touch, he's got vision, and he's very technical. All the attributes that a number 10 needs, if you're playing as a number 10 off a striker or behind two strikers. So when you're saying he's not clinical or he isn't a 9, people have to remember there are different type of strikers. There are number 9s that want to play on the shoulder. There are number 9s that are target men. There are false 9s. There are fox in the box kind of strikers. So people that think that Xerxes is not a striker, is because they're looking at him as someone that's not going to get 30 to 40 goals, let's say.
Yeah.
Not many strikers are getting 30 to 40 goals. That's a fact, yeah? You look at Erling Haaland, for instance. Erling Haaland is playing in a team, yeah, where he's got all creators around him, and he's just a number 9 striker. You know, he's more of a out-and-out goal scorer than what Xerxes is.
Yeah.
Xerxes as a 9 offers different qualities because, as I said, he's more technically sound than the likes of Erling Haaland. Because Erling Haaland can't drop into the half spaces and create. Xerxes can, yeah? So it's not about Xerxes not being clinical. Xerxes is a different type of profile, a different type of 9 to what a lot of strikers are out there. Because you're not going to compare Alexander Isak to a, to a Victor Osimhen, for instance. 2 different total strikers. You know, you're not going to compare Harry Kane to a, I'm trying to think of another striker in a different league. Oh, you wouldn't compare Harry Kane to a, trying to think now, to a
Raul Jimenez.
Who's that? Sorry,
Raul Jimenez at Fulham.
Yeah. You wouldn't compare Jimenez to Harry Kane because Jimenez is more of a target man. Harry Kane likes to drop deep and link play. You know, there's so many different examples. You know, you can't look at every striker as being the same because, as I mentioned, there's different type of strikers. Like you've got the strikers that play on the shoulder. You know, you've got your strikers that want to drop deep.
But
I think it's gone.
It's like taking the old school version. It's like taking a Rooney and comparing him to Owen. You can't do that.
There you go.
It's two different strikers. Owen is a man that if the ball goes over the top, you expect him to beat 9 out of 10 defenders.
Yeah.
Rooney's a man that can come, drop short, link up the play, turn round. He can probably ping your pass. Owen's not going to ping your pass. That's not what he does.
That's what I'm saying. Because there's different profiles, you know. Because as you said, you wouldn't compare Pippo Inzaghi to a Joshua Xerxes. Joshua Xerxes is more technically sound than Pippo Inzaghi. Pippo Inzaghi is a fox in the box striker.
Yeah.
But they're still but both of them are still strikers, basically.
Yeah.
I think what it is that people are getting confused because Xerxes playing in this system, and because this manager is hell bent on playing him in the 10, people now automatically think he's not a striker. He is a striker. He's just not a striker for this manager in this system.
Yeah.
But if you create this manager and play 4-2-3-1 or play 4-3-3, Xerxes playing back up front. So this is my thing. Let's stop saying that he's not a 9 because he is. He's just a number 9 with number 10 qualities. And you know, and if you do get him the ball in positions where he can finish, he will finish. Is he going to score 30 to 40 goals a season? He's not. But then again, there ain't many strikers that will do that. The only ones we're looking at that will score 30 to 40 goals a season are the likes of Lewandowski, Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, you know, possibly Isak now. They're the only guys that are going to score that amount of goals. But if you're thinking that a striker has to be scoring that amount of goals, like a Xerxes, he's never going to do that. But one thing he has a lot more quality to his game than a lot of those strikers.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things that people have to realize, you know. And as Saeed said as well, at Bologna he played like a false 9, exactly, because he's not a striker that's going to play on the shoulder. That isn't his game, but he's still a striker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You can't. I remember I had a fellow Liverpool fan actually, like yourself, yeah. I remember he tried telling me that Darwin Núñez is a better footballer than Joshua Xerxes. And I was thinking, right, let's put the bias to the side now. You know, I know you're Liverpool, I'm United. And for me, I've got no bias because I just answer any question as truthfully as I'll say it, yeah. He was telling me with a straight face that Darwin Núñez is a better footballer than Xerxes. And we were arguing for like half an hour. And I was thinking to myself, is he actually trolling me or is he being serious? There's no way he actually thinks that. And again, it's about understanding when we're saying footballer. When I'm saying footballer, yeah, I'm saying like who has more to their game in terms of from a technical side, you know?
Yeah.
Joshua Xerxes is more technically sound than Darwin Núñez. We can argue this to the cows come home. There's no one that's going to tell me otherwise. Yeah, he was adamant that Nunes was a better footballer than Xerxes. Yeah, bro. Honestly, I was just racking my brains. But I was thinking he can't be serious, but he was.
Again, for me, it's
Man.
like you say. You look at the technical ability. You look at his footballing brain. You look at what he does when he gets in front of goal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's for me, it's more the fact of how do you look at a player and not go technically? Because technically, to me, Berbatov has got the greatest touch in football ever. There's no man that had a better touch than Berbatov. And it's because when you listen to how Berbatov talks, and he was like, but it's like people go, oh, but Berbatov's lazy. And it's like, no, Berbatov understood the game and understood what worked for him. He's not going to make a run because he knows what Rooney's going to do. So when Rooney's doing his little dinky run, he knows Berbatov's coming here. So Berbatov's like, I'm on the edge of the box. He knows I can whip a ball. However, I'm not going to run into the box because he knows that's not what I do. So
bro,
again,
listen, the funny thing is what you just said there, yeah? What's actually funny, yeah, is that the people that say Berbatov is lazy, I'll turn it round. I will say to them, you're lazy in your analysis of him. Yeah? Because the problem is, the only reason that people say the likes of Berbatov, Xerxes, all these kind of strikers that are, languid in style and laid back, the only reason that they say that they're lazy is because they can't understand football properly. And the things with them, they don't understand football's not meant to be about running about. The way that I look at football, is that if you're running around like a madman, it often means you're doing something wrong. You're either in the wrong position, or you're just not intelligent. It can only be one or two things. Again, I've never seen a man. I've never seen a player be praised for running, praised so much for running around. Like, running around isn't a good thing. Like, it's not a good thing. Like, I don't know where football has gone, where people seem to think that a striker running around like an absolute madman is a good thing. It's not. It's about running around, moving around smartly. And Berbatov wasn't lazy. He was just smart. You know what I mean? And it's like, you look at someone like Rasmus Højlund. He's not smart because he gets away with it because he thinks like him running around, it means he's doing a lot. In actuality, you're actually a dumb footballer because by you running around, it now means you're out of position. And that means the team now has to do a lot more.
Has to adjust,
have to shift across because you're running around thinking that you're doing a lot. These dumb fans don't know what they're watching. Again, excited, thinking, oh, look at my guy, he's running hard. But if anything, you're actually making things worse for the team. And Berbatov's a prime example. The guy was so skilled, but because he wasn't running around like a complete madman, he was getting criticized. And this is what I can't stand about football now. And it's only this country. This country champions losers. Like, they champion guys that just run around but haven't got much quality. Like, I've never seen it. Like, you think in other countries there'll be champion players like Madueke or players like that just get the ball and just want to just be direct and just lose the ball and think they do a lot. No, never.
Because you got to think about it. Because even like again, one of the greatest midfielders, Pirlo, never used to move from the centre circle.
And
exactly. But again, no one would ever turn around and go, "Oh yeah, but Pirlo's lazy." No. He just understood. His teammates understood.
But again, you know what? You know why they'll never say that about Pirlo? Because Pirlo hasn't played in England. It's only this country, with the culture of this country, that they start doing this nonsense. Because if Pirlo played in England and let's say whoever he played for and their team were getting beat and he was getting, let's say, overrun in midfield, they'll start saying, "Oh, Pirlo's legs are gone." I'm trying to say to you that the whole thing's nonsense, man. It's nonsense. At the end of the day, football is not about running around like a madman. It never has been. No. The ones that are running around, you have to look at and think they're doing something wrong. Do you know what I mean? You think look at Messi. You think Messi runs around like a complete madman?
No,
he doesn't. He picks and chooses his time when to run because he's smart. You know what I mean? The smart ones don't run. You know what I mean? The ones that are unintelligent, they'll run around and get no results. That's the problem. You know, it's ridiculous, man. Honestly, but this is the way football's gone now. But Hammer Football T said, Gav Jonas, been a pleasure being involved in the chat. Food calls, unfortunately. Hope to catch up you again. Yeah, Hammers, man, big up for coming on. As I said, if you're still here, if you're not, but yeah, Yeah, pleasure for you coming on, man, and interacting with the chat. And yeah, as I said, make sure you keep an eye on obviously when we go live or when we're back again. But big up yourself. Roderick says Ten Hag has priors falling out with players for time. Yeah, listen, man. Lesser Ten Hag, man. That guy's an absolute disaster. Big up to DXR as well. Big up, bro.
Yeah, big up DXR.
Yeah, big up, man. So DXR says, Gav, need to create a gym channel. We need to get the guidance. Yeah, DXR, big up, man. You know what? I was thinking that, man. I'm going to focus on this channel for the time being, but you know what I mean? Maybe obviously in the future, man, I might look at that, you know. But big up, man. Big up. Obviously, gym is my thing, man. Have to get it in. It's a must. Yeah, big up, man. But yeah, guys, before we wrap, obviously, just want to get some views on Jonas's predictions for the season. You know, obviously Club World Cup as well. We just spoke about. Again, I've not really watched too much of Club World Cup. I think I watched one game for like 20 minutes. I think Juventus against Wydad Casablanca, and I think Kenan Yildiz is a very good player. I think he got 2. But the game itself was shit. So I just thought, you know what, I can't watch this, man. I think when it hits the semi-finals, I think I'll watch it more. But
yeah.
That's
the problem. It's the level of opponents, and like for instance, I watched Nicholas Jackson come on for literally, I kid you not, no more than 5 minutes, and the man got sent off.
I heard someone told me today actually. Like I heard today. I thought he come on, and I think it was a bad first touch. And he end up taking someone out or something, wasn't it?
But it wasn't like, I'm not being funny enough. I understand the bad challenge, yeah, and I understand. But for me, again, it's the way football's gone now. The more annoyance for me is the rolling around and the play acting. That's what annoys me, because back in the day, like man could have his leg chopped off and get back on the pitch and go, "Ref, I'm ready to play again." Like, come on, like we need to carry on. Now it's like, but like, don't get me wrong. The challenge was bad, but again, it's a missed touch, and then he accidentally oversteps, and it's automatically like red cards. So it's on off. Do you know what I mean? That is terrible. He's
going for a torrid time, man.
So
yeah, he's really struggling, man.
Yeah, man.
Because what I heard today, I heard his touch, and then and the thing is, it's one of them things, where obviously I didn't see the game, but I was kind of hoping that he shouldn't have got sent off. The person that I spoke to said, "Nah, it's a red all day long." So it's just like, Nicholas Jackson, man, he's really going through it. But
yeah, it's the way the game's going, and I think it's more the fact that, because the thing is there's no malice in it. If there's malice in it, I completely get it, but there's no malice in it. Like the kids literally made a first bad touch, gone to thing, and the rest should have shown a little bit of lenience rather than letting my man roll around and gone. Like, let's kind of have a look at the video. Because the thing is no matter what, you know the guy makes the first bad touch. But the challenge is literally, I'm just trying to get the ball. Like, I've overstretched to get the ball on, and he might have caught him. I don't think it was that bad, though. The way he's rolling around was like he'd been shot with a sniper from like somewhere in the stadium. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
I think the thing as well, I've heard that obviously the Brazilian team, Flamengo as well. I've heard all the Brazilian teams at the moment are undefeated so far as well.
Yeah.
Mad.
It's mad.
Again, I've not been watching it. Obviously, I've been away and I watched the one game for a bit yesterday. And to be honest with you, I was so bored. I just thought, I can't watch this.
It's not like the Premier League. It's not like the Bundesliga. You know what I mean? It's boring. It's the walkouts. It's the whole idea. It's not about football for me. It's not about the football.
I think the big incentive obviously is the money that you get from it. So I think that's all what they're interested in, really, the major teams. But we'll have to wait and see, man. But yeah, before we wrap, I just want to get your thoughts on the predictions. So, what's your top 6 for next season?
See, this could go either way. It's either going to be Liverpool or Man City up top.
Yeah.
I got
I
a
think
feeling.
there's no doubt that those two will be the top two for me
Yeah,
as well.
I got a feeling if Liverpool go out and buy a striker,
Yeah.
and depending on who they get,
Mm.
if they get Isaac, touch wood. If they get Isaac, I say the league's wrapped and done. I say Liverpool won the league.
Yeah.
I'd put my
I'll go along with that. I think if they happen to get Isak, I'll definitely, because at this moment in time now, I'm saying, even with the Florian Wirtz signing, I'm saying City are the slight favourites right now for me. Big up, Broderick. Big up, bro. City are the slight favourites for me. However, if they get Isak, which again I can't see happening, they're definitely the favourites for me. If that was to happen, definitely. But go on. So you're saying Liverpool, City, definitely top two.
So Liverpool, City, Newcastle, I'd say will be in and around.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Chelsea. I don't know how I feel about Chelsea because I feel like if they get it right, they'll get it very right.
Yeah,
However, I feel like I think depending on their first 5 results, depends on how they go for the season. I think if they win the first 3 and draw 2, I think they're laughing. However, I think if they lose probably 2 out of those 5 games, I think they start thinking, what have we got to do here? I think that will be the tester. I think it will be more or less if they can win their first 2 games, I reckon it sets a good standard. I reckon though, if they win 1 and lose 1, they start thinking about stuff. But Chelsea will be in and around. I don't know about Tottenham because I don't know who else they'll buy.
Yeah. I think one thing for certain, they won't finish as low as they did this season.
Aston Villa, I expect to be in and around. Arsenal, I expect to be there. So it'll be Liverpool, City. Arsenal, I expect to be in there. Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Newcastle.
Okay. I mean, well, DXR's list there, is quite similar to what I'm looking at. Although I think we have to say Arsenal, just based on the last few seasons, have to be in there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say so. Wait, so your top 6 is who? Liverpool, City, Newcastle.
So Liverpool, City.
Yeah.
It's between Chelsea and Arsenal for me. I want to say Arsenal will be third.
So wait. So Liverpool, City, Newcastle, and Arsenal.
Yeah. 4. Liverpool. So it'd be Liverpool, City.
Yeah.
And then whether it's either Chelsea and Arsenal or Arsenal and then Chelsea.
Okay.
That's what my top 4 would be.
Yeah. And then who's the 5th and 6th?
It'll be Newcastle and Aston Villa.
Okay. So DXR's got Liverpool, City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa. Aza Chiefs has said City, Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal.
Ooh.
So he's missing. So he's leaving out. So obviously, he's putting Villa probably 6.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. What I'm gonna say, I think as it stands right now, I'm gonna say City, Liverpool. I'm gonna say Chelsea 3rd. Newcastle 4th.
Oh.
And the thing is, I'm torn between it's between Villa, United, and Arsenal, because the reason I'm saying Villa is because Villa, I've got Unai Emery.
Yeah.
And obviously they'll need to keep Emiliano Martinez as well.
Yeah.
Man United, for me, you'd have to believe that they're going to spend some money sooner or later.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, because they've got Zubimendi, but I don't think Zubimendi is going to be enough to change what they've got. But I think I'm going to say, as it stands right now, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, the top 4. And then 5th and 6th, I'm going to say Arsenal, Villa. Yeah, at this moment. But again, it could change because if Arsenal let's say Arsenal get 2 strikers in, I think you might have to take them 1 or 2 places higher.
Yeah, I think so.
But,
I think if Arsenal go and get a goal getter, if Arsenal go and get someone that is proven enough that he can bang goals, I reckon they're in the conversation. However, the problem is if they do that, they then got to get rid of Gabriel Jesus, and they got to get rid of someone because they're not going to get rid of Havertz.
No,
Havertz is a big money spend.
Havertz is their highest paid player.
Yeah, so they're not going to get rid of Havertz. Havertz ain't going to go.
Yeah,
unless he's getting
Jesus is the one.
Yeah. So Jesus is the one to go. So I reckon if they buy the thing, and then for me, if Partey's gone and you get into Zubimendi, it'll be interesting to see how their midfield runs, to see if they get overrun.
Yeah,
because they get overrun from smaller teams in terms of teams that go, you got no more Partey, you got no engine in there now. Yeah. In terms of you got no one that's going to bully us, we can now overrun your midfield.
Yeah,
Zubimendi doesn't know what he's walking into. This is the problem. Zubimendi is the unknown here. As much as he's done the Euros and whatever else, and he's very highly rated, the question still is, you're coming to the Premier League, which is played at probably the quickest pace of the game. You now need to look at, okay, cool, it's all good and well. Let's see what you can do. So it'll be interesting. Like I say, Arsenal will be one to watch. Chelsea will be interesting. That for me is going to be a telling team this season. I thought they would have got it right last season, but this season will be interesting once they get rid of what's his name, Nkuku and Mudryk. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
I agree. I agree, man. I think there's still a long way to go in this window, obviously, and I think the order will change dependent on. I'm gonna say Liverpool and City. I don't see any team disrupting those two.
Yeah,
I think those two are guaranteed to finish top 2 because between both of them, they've got 6 players in. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's nothing disrupting that for me. And it's not, and it's not that they've just got 3 players each in for the sake of it. They've got literally 3 players in that cut in both teams that come straight into their starting lineup. See the difference? It's like if you're getting 3 players in and one or 2 of them are squad players, it's like, okay, both teams have got 3 players in that go straight into their lineup. So for me, they're separate. As I said, Arsenal don't finish in the top 4 for me. I know it's a big call, but I can just see, knowing what Chelsea do, Chelsea are, for me, are going to sign another couple of players. I can see it happening. I don't know if Arsenal do that. And again, with Newcastle, I look at Newcastle's team when everyone's fit. You know, that's a top 4 team for me when everyone's fit. And you still expect them to get at least 1 or 2 players in as well. But I think the big thing for Newcastle is, who are they going to let go? You know?
Who's going where?
Who's going?
One last question before we wrap this up. Jack Grealish, where's he going?
Do you know what? funny you said, actually. Jack Grealish, for me, you know what? If I'm honest with you, he needs to go back to Aston Villa because, again, Villa will just let him be the Jack Grealish that we all know that he can be.
Yeah.
Or he should go to Newcastle. Because the reason I say that, I look at the number 10 position and I look at, because obviously they play 3 in there with Joel Linton, Bruno and Tonali. But if they wanted to change it up, you know, you could play Grealish in the 10 behind Isak, and you can play him obviously from the left as well. So for me, he definitely has to leave. And I'm looking at Newcastle and Villa as the 2 teams. I was going to say Chelsea, but Chelsea don't need Grealish because they've got players that come to the ball anyway, already there. So for me, yeah, I'm looking at Villa or Newcastle. You know, I think if he goes to Newcastle, that makes them, for me, a certainty to get into Champions League next season.
Yeah, yeah. Because
I think he'll be that crucial of a signing. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, you're
So,
buying a player that understands how to win games and how to win certain
And
trophies.
what people don't realize about Jack Grealish as well, yeah, the amount of fouls he wins.
Yeah, is ridiculous.
He wins a hell of a lot of fouls, which obviously gives your defense rest, you know. And again, if you're getting fouls high up the pitch, if you've got a free kick expert, you know, it's a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, bro. Listen, big up for coming on, man. Big up to Sham just coming through as well. Guys, big up to all the mods coming on each and every time. Big up to all the newcomers as well. Big up to A's Achieves. Obviously, stay there to the end. Obviously gonna have to wrap, man. I've got football in about half an hour, so
yeah,
get changed, yeah, it's a bit of a longer journey for me now as well. So, but yeah, bro, man, big up for coming on, man. You got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I'll just give people my Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is just
if you want, send it to me and I'll drop it in the description as well.
All right, cool. I'll send it to you. It's just
send it to me. I'll drop it in the description.
I'll pop it across to you. So if people want to drop me a follow, and then
cool. Yeah, guys, listen. Check out my description. As I said, I'll drop Jonas's his link to his Instagram in my description once I've finished the stream. But yeah, big up each and every time for coming on, bro. And as I said, chat, man, big up yourselves for coming on. I'm gonna be back possibly tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. Obviously, if there's any news that's breaking, then obviously I'll go live.
Yeah.
But as I said, man, good stream today. And again, we've covered the transfer window, the Club World Cup. I wanted to get on actually quickly before we go. Actually, Man United's first 5 fixtures. Yeah. So Arsenal away. I believe it's Fulham. Is it Fulham at home? No, sorry. Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Burnley. I think it's Burnley at home, and then they've got.
So I'll tell you, you've got.
Is it Chelsea? No, not Chelsea. Is it Chelsea? Chelsea and City, or something it might be.
So when does the league start? It's not August. It starts, is it?
Yeah. It's August. Yeah.
Right. Let's have a look.
So I know Arsenal's the first game away, and then I think it's Arsenal, Fulham, Burnley, and I think it might be Chelsea and City or something like that.
So you got Arsenal.
Yeah.
You got Fulham.
Yeah.
You got Burnley at home.
Yeah.
You got Man City.
Yeah.
And then you got Chelsea.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was. Yeah. So let me tell you this right now. Yeah. Right now, I did say, for me, he's got the first 5 games of the season. And if I don't see any improvements for one and the results has to go. I don't want to hear nothing else. Yeah. So those first 5 games, listen, all eyes on Ruben Amorim. Again, I don't want to hear he hasn't got his players. Pre-season, he's got, with the players that he has, I want to see how we can improve these players. Now, again, players do need to come in. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Obviously, Mbeumo looking like it's close now. But the first 5 games, I don't want to hear no excuses. I'll be watching those 5 games. And for me, he needs at least, I want to see at least 3 wins. 3 wins. You know, because Fulham away will be tough. But, you know, the season that United have had last season, I don't want to hear no excuses. Burnley at home, that has to be a win. Fulham away, you know, I think United can win that. The big ones against Arsenal at home, City and Chelsea, you know, I'll take a couple of draws there. But for me, as I said, I want to see at least 3 wins, 2 or 3 wins from the first 5. I'm not too dissatisfied, you know. But anything less than that, then he's in trouble, in massive trouble. So again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But big up to Eze. Says United need Eze. Yeah, listen, Eze was my first choice above Cunha. Obviously, the fact that Palace have got Europa now, going to be a hard deal to do. I think he might
Yeah.
cost north of 70 mil.
Yeah.
So that's going to be difficult. And big up to Enes there, man, for coming back on as well. So, guys, listen up. Obviously, you're going to end the stream now anyway, but big up yourselves for coming on each and every time. Big up to Jonas as well. So we're going to get Jonas back on again as well. Possibly next Monday if you're free, bro, yeah?
Yeah.
Or just drop me a message when you can. We'll definitely hook you up again. But yeah, guys, I'm probably going to be back tomorrow, but I'm not sure what time yet. But as I said, big up yourselves for coming on each and every time. Subscribe to my channel at Gavgoesin. So again, I'm on YouTube, obviously. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. And I'm on TikTok as well. My TikTok one's not really that active, but I'm on there. And it might be Gavgoesin 10. And again, yeah, make sure you smash that like button and obviously help the channel to grow, guys. But as I said, big up yourselves each and every time. And yeah, I'm going to catch you guys in a bit. Take it easy.
Right. Take it easy.
Bro, take it easy, yeah?
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, take care, man.
Yes.